Hey everybody, what's going on? It's James here with Crypto Common Sense, and I've got your Bitcoin/cryptocurrency update for November the 27th. So this video is probably going to be a little bit shorter than the others. I've actually got to go do some shopping for Thanksgiving tomorrow, but I wanted to knock this out. And when the market's really crazy the way it is, I feel like it's the best time to do these videos because hopefully I can introduce some rational thinking and maybe dispel some of the emotional bias that starts to come in and some of the FOMO that starts to come in. Okay. So please do me a huge favor. Before I jump into the content, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So the first thing I want to talk about, guys, is this move, this local move that we're in right now. Maybe it caught some people off guard. Maybe it didn't. It should not have caught anybody off guard. If you were using textbook technical analysis, we actually had a head and shoulders, an inverse head and shoulders. I posted about this in my Facebook group before I went to bed this morning. I stayed up most of last night, which was a really good thing. For the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been trying to work days, and it just hasn't panned out. So I switched back to nights. The very first night, I was able to catch an awesome trade over here. I'll talk about that in a second. But we have this inverse head and shoulders, which actually has a target up around $7,800 to $7,900. So once we broke through this yellow line, that was a pretty clear signal that it was going to head north, and that would have been a very, very easy long position to take if you weren't long already. Okay, so this is not surprising at all. The other thing we have was we have a small uptrend on the smaller time frame, not the bigger ones, but the smaller time frame. We had an uptrend. If we measure it, has a breakup target of about $7,700. Right? I don't know that it's going to get there, but it does have that breakup target. So that's a nice little uptrend. Again, nice little long position. And then if you're wondering, what are these red boxes, James? Well, this is one of the things that I'm going to teach inside this course I'm going to be releasing in a couple of days, guys. It's one of the tools that has put more money in my pocket than any other tools, and it's how to properly use these Fibonacci levels. If you look at this was an uptrend establishing itself, and when it came back down, it pulled back down right into the golden pocket for a long. So what I did was I went long in the close of this hourly candle, right up here around $6,905. Okay, that's where I took my long position on Bitcoin. And then, full disclosure, because I'm always about full disclosure, I went to bed. It was a little after 4 o'clock in the morning, right? I woke up about 9 o'clock in the morning. I got up. Price was sitting up here. It looked like it was running in the resistance. I did not. I actually bought spot, right? So this was different from like a normal leverage trade or long position on like BitMEX or Kraken. I didn't have a way to do a trailing stop loss. So what I did was I went ahead and said, you know what? I think it's going higher, but I don't care. I'm going back to bed. I need my sleep. So I closed my position up here around $7,300 and I went to bed. Okay. My thought process was I figured it would grind sideways for a few hours and I would be awake by the time it got up to this level if it got there. Unfortunately, it moved a little quicker than I expected. So I didn't miss the last $300 of this move, which kind of sucked. But hey, I got over 4% on the trade. I'm not going to complain. Okay. But this long position, very easy, right? Right in that golden pocket. So am I long now? Obviously not. I just, admitted that I sold. But not only did I sell, I'm now short, guys. I'm short on Bitcoin. And the reason I'm short is very, very simple, right? If we measure this move, this red box is the golden pocket for a short position. We went right up to it. I keep talking about how these bots are pinging these prices back and forth between these 61.8 Fibs, and it just did it again, right? Right up into the short. So now I flipped, I went long here, made money, 4%, went short here, and, time will tell whether or not I make money on that. But nothing in there is unexpected or surprising. It's just textbook technical analysis. Now, the interesting thing is going to be if this can move any higher today or if that's all she's got, right? This yellow line, this is actually the downward sloping descending trend line from the wicks from all the way back in June. So it'd be interesting if we could get up there. If we do, I won't panic and close my short. I've actually got bids to add to my short position if we can get up there because that level, first of all, it's a descending trend line. Second of all, it lines up really nicely with the 200 daily moving average on the CME. It also lines up with horizontal resistance, right? If we put a horizontal resistance line here, lines up nicely up in that area. I think that line actually went a little higher than I meant to. About 8,000, 8,100, right up in that ballpark. So lots of resistance, so to speak, on a smaller time frame trade. I don't know that I'll stay in a swing from here. I probably won't. I'll probably just scalp this, take a few percent if I can get it. Because when I zoom out and I look at the weekly, there's still a possibility it can break through this line, right? And go all the way back up here to this $9,500 level or this $9,100 level as what I would expect, right? Because if we draw, let me go to a 3-day chart. All right, so if we draw our Fibonacci levels on a 3-day chart from the 10.5 to the 6,500, our golden pocket's actually up around 9 grand and 9,100, which again lines up with this support flipped resistance, okay? Look at this. If we draw a line there, it cuts right through that golden pocket. So I still think that that's probably a better place to go short on a swing. Probably just scalp this little short position I'm in now, okay? Speaking of the 3-day chart, if we take a look at RSI, it's just putting money in my pocket, guys. This thing has bounced off the bottom of this box again, right? This time I screwed up and I closed my trade early, right? I got in at 6,800, closed it on the bounce. Got in here a little over 6,900 and closed it on the bounce. And then I got in here a little over 6,905 and closed it on the bounce. So, you know, in hindsight, I probably should have trusted this a little bit more, taken a larger position on it, and, you know, rode it all the way up for about 10-15%. But I didn't do that, okay? But I am watching this purple line now because here just a few minutes ago we were touching this line and now we're starting to pull back a little bit. But that is the line of resistance, right? In 2018, it was support. Right here, it was resistance. Then it was support, 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 resistance, resistance, right? Acted as resistance back in October a couple of different times. So I'm wondering if we're going to get something that looks like this, where we come up to this line, fall back down to the bottom of our little box here, and then have another rocket ship. That's what happened back here, so that's kind of what I'm watching for. And that's supported, by the way, with trends. So I'm throwing a lot at you today, and I'm not trying to. I've got to move fast because my wife and daughter are actually at the grocery store, and I've got to go back and pick them up, and then we've got like 2 more stores to hit. But essentially, guys, I'm going to kind of take what should be about a 30-minute lesson, and I'm going to smash it down into 30 seconds, okay? We had trends, right? If you drew a trend line from back here at the bottom to this local top, and then you pulled it down, you had a breakout target. I've talked about these a little bit in past videos. I called them breakout trades. You had a breakout target of 13.4. So if you went long down here, you would have been looking for 13.4. Obviously, it got right up to it, and then it even came up and almost kissed it again before it went down. So that trend trade was complete. The next trend trade was the downtrend trade from the top to the bottom to the next top, and it gave us a target of 75.22. So if you went short up here between 11,188 and 12,320, your target would have been $7,522. You can see, bam, we hit it, barely slid through it, just like we barely slid through the top over here, and then boom, we got the pullback, right? So our next trend trade starts right here. This is the larger trend trade. This is on a zoomed out, 3-day/weekly time frame. There's our top, there's our bottom, here's our pullback. So our next trend trade target is actually down here at $5,516. What we did so far was we came down and we kissed the 78.6 level. See this? Bam, we just kissed it and we got a little pullback off of it. That's completely normal for a trend. You're almost never going to see a trend go straight down or straight up. That's not how trends work. If we go back and we redraw this trend, watch what happened. It came down, in this case, it came down and kissed the 61.8. It had its bounce, and then it continued its trend, okay? So I suspect we're going to do the same thing here. I suspect that this is our little kiss. We went down a lot harder and a lot faster. This is the first time in the last 10 years, first time since BLX chart started in 2011, that Bitcoin put in 7 consecutive red 3-day candles. That's the first time. It's basically one of the strongest downtrends it's ever had, right? So it went a little further than the 61.8, went all the way down to the 78.6. So now we're getting this bounce, right? Again, that could be a reason to believe that this bounce might be stronger than what we suspect because the downtrend was so strong and it needs more relief. I don't know. That's going to be really tough to say. What I do know is that by textbook analysis, this thing should, once it finds its little local top here, it should continue back down to the $5,500 level. Again, nothing is guaranteed, right? But that's what I'm looking for, guys. I do think this $5,500 level is important. If we go back here, it was the last bit of resistance before we had our real breakout and our real rocket ship launch all the way up to over 13,000 bucks. And I do suspect that when we get down to 5,500, if we get there, I will be looking for long positions, right? Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to look for long positions that I'm going to stay in and right up to the quote-unquote moon, right? I'll be looking for bullish structure at that area. If we don't get it, I won't be holding the position, but I'll still be looking for places where I can get a trend reversal, okay? Basically, a bounce is what I'm trying to say, okay? Where this is our low, this is our lower high, we end up getting something like this, where it comes down, this ends up being our lower low. Right now, people think this is the lower low. Could be. But I think maybe we'll get some kind of weird, drop here down to this level. Well, I shouldn't say I think it's going to happen. I should say I hope it's going to happen, right? I hope this ends up being the lower low, and then we get that bounce up to like 7,900, 8,000. And that ends up being our lower high, and then we continue down from there to this, $4,000 range sometime in early 2020. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. I want to talk about something real quick because there just seems to be this really simple thing that people could do to help not lose money, and it's to understand how markets work a little bit. You have these cliche sayings like, oh, markets don't move in straight lines. I don't think people understand what that means. The other day on Twitter, I finally said something to one of these guys with these large followings, 100,000 followers, and I said, look, dude, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, but why do you keep telling people to buy in a bear market, right? Every time this damn thing bounces, he tells people to buy. And he said, well, if you don't agree, or if you're bearish, then short it. Stop crying and short it, or something along those lines. And I didn't think much of it, but then I went to Facebook, and somebody else said like almost the exact same comment just a few minutes later, right? Basically, well, if you're so bearish, short it. Guys, just because you're a bear doesn't mean you're shorting the market. And just because you're a bull doesn't mean you're longing the market. If you're actually a trader and you understand how this works, in a bear market, you're looking to short bounces and you're looking to long lows, right? So what you do is you wait for the price to put in a lower low, and then you look for reasons to go long. Like right here, lower low, could have went long. This thing is actually up about 15% right now off of this low. And over here, right, you would not have wanted to be shorting down here. A lot of people were, and the same people that were short down here, telling their followers to go short, when this thing bounced up, they started going long up here, and they got wrecked on both sides of that trade. The reality is you wanted to be long down here, and when it bounced and made a lower high, this is where you go short. You don't start shorting the lower lows, and you don't long the higher highs. If you do, you'll lose money over and over and over and over again until you have no money left to lose, okay? So yes, I'm a bear, but I'm not an idiot, right? I'm not blindly shorting the market. Oh, I'm a bear, I'm just going to short, right? If you were a position trader, right, which I am a position trader, but I don't take 6 month shorts, right? Kraken only allows you to keep them open for 28 days. You could have shorted back here, and then you could have just wrote it down, right? But you would have been paying funding fees the entire way, which would have ate into your profits big time, right? So you're better off to short up here, right? Close it down here, and short up here, close it down here, short up here, close it down here. Maybe you would have got this, maybe not, right? Long down here, short up. See what I'm saying? You don't short when everybody else is shorting. You wait until everybody's talking bullish and talking about Lambos and a downtrend, and that's a better place to look for shorts. Okay. So with all that being said, guys, the video is about 16 minutes long. I don't have a whole lot to add on altcoins or anything. One thing I did want to point out is, again, remember that we do have this head and shoulders. Okay. By the way, for the people who have said this, I've had this on videos in the past. People are always asking, where's the volume? Guys, I don't want to do 45-minute trading lessons on every pattern. So if I say, hey, there's a head and shoulders, please don't assume I didn't actually make sure there was a head and shoulders. I understand how volume works. I also understand that volume in crypto is fake, right? Maybe you don't understand that. Maybe you do. I don't know. But I actually have software that tracks the volume, and trust me, it counts every trade that goes through the exchange, and the volume that it adds up never matches the volume down here, okay? This is absolutely a confirmed head and shoulders. Absolutely confirmed. Professional traders with 30 and 40 years experience have posted about this after I did. Okay, they didn't copy me. They just came to the same conclusion that I came to. It's a head and shoulders. Okay, which means we can come all the way back up here and retest it. Guess where that level is? Right around 7,900 to 8 grand. Right. One more reason that I would be adding to my shorts if we get to that level. Okay. So there's that head and shoulders. If we look at, this is the side-by-side charts. This is the Coinbase chart, right? Our short zone is up here around 9,000, 9,100. Our daily moving average on the 200 up around 9,400. Just now starting to finally curl down a little bit, which is not what you want to see in a bull market, right? It's indicative of a bear market. And over here, our 200 daily moving average is sitting right around $8,024 on the CME. So those are two levels I would be watching as well. Let's take a quick peek at altcoins. They have broke back above this level down here pretty convincingly, right? I'd still really like to see them take a bounce up to 70 billion. But we don't know if they will, right? There's still levels of resistance in between, right? It just ran into this and failed. So it could be that it comes down and tests this again and then bounces up. So as far as altcoins goes, I'm not long on altcoins. I'm not short on altcoins. It's just like Bitcoin, right? I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I don't really see a whole lot of need to trade altcoins right now when I can just trade Bitcoin, right? It's one asset that I can focus on. It's one asset that I know like the back of my hand, right? The less assets you're trading, the more successful you typically are. I believe it was Warren Buffett who actually said something about that, right? You really need to focus on a handful of assets. It's like people ask me, James, do you trade stocks? I do trade stocks, but for example, one of the stocks that I trade when I'm trading stocks, Tesla, right? I don't need to trade 88 stocks. I just watch Tesla a lot, right? I've traded other stocks besides Tesla, right? But I don't trade anything other than the NASDAQ, right? I just stick to the NASDAQ stocks and that's it, okay? And same thing with crypto. In a bear market, I'm going to be more focused on Bitcoin than I am anything else. All right, sorry guys, this video is going to be a little bit choppy. There's going to be some stuff that doesn't seem to fit together. I was trying to do the video and my wife kept texting me at the same time, so I was reading text messages and doing the video and reading text messages. Hopefully it wasn't too scatterbrained. Essentially that's what I'm watching though, right? I'm watching the alts sitting on the sidelines just waiting for them to put in some type of structure, and I'm really waiting to see what Bitcoin is going to do before I make any type of moves. But I am in a short position on Bitcoin right now, and I'm literally getting ready to walk out the door to go pick up my wife and daughter from the grocery store and do more shopping for Thanksgiving, and I'll leave that short open. And when I get home, hopefully it's down a couple $100 so I can close it for 2 or 3%. All right, this is James with Crypto Common Sense. Please remember, I am literally some guy sitting in a spare bedroom, so nothing in this video is financial advice or trade advice. You should always do your own due diligence and seek out professional investment advice before making any type of investment in cryptocurrency.